Hi, my name is Dr. Vincent Tran. Today I'm going to show you what a normal TMJ looks like, and you can compare this normal TMJ with another one that is not normal. Okay? So we're looking at a CT scan. The part that we're going to be looking at is actually this part right here. The person we're looking at is actually the joint on the right hand side. This is that particular joint right there. This is the head of the condyle. And this part where the condyle interact with that part of the skull is called the temporal bone. That's why the TMJ is called temporal mandibular joint, TMJ. So in here on the skull, on the model, you can see the condyle is rubbing again bone to bone on the temporal bone. But in reality, there's a spacing. There's the space where the articular disc is cushioned between the head of the condyle and the temporal bone. So on the CT scan, you actually see a spacing in there. Now we're going to evaluate that space to see if actually normal or not. An abnormal will have certain characteristics, and that's what we're going to be looking at. So on this person, this is a volumetric CT scan of that joint. We're going to be looking at that space right there. There are actually three cross-sectional view that we'll be looking at. This view is like the tangential view that's going to be magnified over here. The other view is called the cross-sectional. It's like this kind of view right there on from the top. Okay, and this view is the view from the top. It's called axial from above. That's looking down from the top over here. You notice the way the condyle arranged is actually slight at an angle to the skull. It's not horizontal, it's actually going in slightly. So as I move inside out, the CT scan was taken when the teeth were closing in a normal biting position. That's the evaluation that we have. It wasn't open, it was normal biting position. So from this view right here, we can evaluate the space right here and that space right there. Okay, it's the same space. Actually, this is a little bit bigger. The space over here usually occupied by what we call the articular disc, which is a soft tissue disc, the cushion between two bony surfaces. One is the temporal bone, and this is the head of the condyle, which is part of the mandibular joint. Now, as I move from inside to outside, take a look at what happened over here. I'm moving out, I'm moving in. Now, at any given time in this normal biting position, you will notice that the space behind the condyle, and that's the ear hole, like what you see over here. Okay, that's like a reference point. The more this condyle moves toward that ear, the more the person will have any ear problem associated with it. Headaches, ringing in the ear, loss of hearing, things like that, of that nature. Not able to blow out, clog up eustachian tube, all these problems that are associated with the condyle being too far back. And it doesn't have to be much, it can be just a millimeter difference. So as I move from, you keep noticing that space over there. Compare the space in the back here and then compare the space in front here, you will see a difference. So let me move further in. I'm almost close to the end, and you notice the space here and the space here is about the same, slightly bigger in the back. You want a normal TMJ to have the space here slightly bigger than the space over here. If the opposite is true, then that person will have problem with TMJ. Since we're looking at a normal TMJ, I don't expect this space to be any different from what we just described. I'm expecting throughout the length of the head of a condyle, I expect that posterior space to be even or bigger than the anterior space. So I'm going to move in and move out. And you notice that space always remain like that. Okay, even over here, it's a lot bigger than that. We can actually measure this space. if I were to measure the space from here to here, it gives me about 2.22 millimeters. If I measure the space in front, it actually gives me 1.34 millimeters. So bigger is better. Bigger means this space is normal. Next, we're gonna show you under CT scan what an abnormal TMJ would look like.